you for joining us at this very wonderful time of having a discourse around our democracy and governance. On this note, permit me to welcome Mr. John Abonifo to have the intro of the topics. Mr. John Abonifo, please, if you are there, unmute.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Christian. Please confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear. Please go on.
Okay, good evening, everyone here present in this parliament this evening. We have three burning topics to discuss or talk about this evening. One of it is the conference that was held yesterday by COPDEM. COPDEM World Press Conference that was held yesterday. COPDEM World Press Conference raises alarm over Nigerian drifting into a one-party state. This information was carried by DDM. And number two is due process integrity vanguard declare war on corrupt lawmakers. Then lastly, ADC-led 2027 coalition formation, the strategic impact of COPDEM on the rise of ADC. And COPDEM's People's Parliament. We'll have the national chairman of COPDEM discussing this with us tonight. So, those are the topics we have. Anybody can take a shot at any of them, the three of them. COPDEM raises alarm over Nigeria drifting into a one-party state. Due process integrity vanguard declare war on corrupt lawmakers. And lastly, ADC-led 2027 coalition formation, the strategic impact of COPDEM on the rise of ADC.
Yes, gladly we have with us the national chairman of COPDEM, Mr. Pam Wang Jr. With us via Zoom. He has joined us all the way from Plateau State to have this wonderful discussion. Now, Mr. Pam Jr., please, if you are there, can you confirm to hear me?
Okay, yes, it was an interesting event, but then give me a few minutes, I'll chip in.
It's all right, thank you. We are glad to have you on board. We understand we've been having a series of engagements through the media houses who have been inviting you to have first-hand information with respect to yesterday's press conference. Yes. Permit me to roll on. Mr. John Abonifo, would you want to have your shot on any of the topic? Jefferson, whoever is available, please feel free to unmute and have your contribution. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Due Process, once again for the opportunity. I just want to speak briefly on 1 and 2, while we hold on for our national chairman to come and do justification on number 3. Okay, you recall that in our previous editions, we have actually spoke extensively about the drift of Nigerian democracy towards a one-party system. So there can be no better time for re-echoing this very worrisome trend that is popping up his head, at this point. And I want to say very well that the World Press Conference that was held yesterday by COPDEM came in at the right time. It has created more sensitization on the issue, and created the consciousness in the mind of the people that, hey, we are going towards the wrong direction. So I think what we need to do is if we can have other civil societies joining COPDEM in this drive to create this awareness so that all Nigerians will be conscious of the effect of this on our democracy in the near future. I think it will be very interesting. That will help us curb this trend that is currently going on. More especially that we have the ADC around the corner, as an option for opposition purposes. So it will be good to because the other parties that were there before now, the PDP seems to have lost grip of the political activities in the country, and Labour Party today is settled and bothered with just party infighting. the thing is taking another dimension, a fresh dimension again. So they seem to have lost focus on seeing how to direct democracy properly. So now that we have ADC on the front burner, I think it would be to our great advantage to utilize this platform to see how we can ensure that Nigeria does not drift into a one-party system. Then on the part of the corrupt lawmakers, as a matter of fact, it is one of the major problems that we have in this country right now. If, for instance, we have, as is designed, the respective arms of government doing their job rightly, we won't be having all of this stress. But because of these corrupt lawmakers, so you cannot even distinguish between the National Assembly and the executive any longer. They all seem to be one arm. So that check and balances are no longer there. So it becomes much more difficult to monitor and do their more difficult for them to do their oversight function, which ordinarily they were expected to do, which should have been a foundation for checking excesses in the executive. But now this provision is no longer there because of the corrupt individuals we have in the National Assembly. So it's something that also calls for very serious concern. So we need as many people as possible, especially good-spirited Nigerians, to join in this war against these corrupt lawmakers, especially when we are determining those that should represent us in our respective constituencies. We should do some job by do some due diligence by investigating these guys and ensuring that we also take advantage of the recall process. Very important, because if they become cautious that Nigerians are aware and can take advantage of that recall process, I think that will also serve as a check for these corrupt lawmakers. I think I'll leave it at this, Mr. G. Process, so that others can make contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. John Agboni, for that excellent submission. As a matter of fact, I agree with you because there's an old video I watched of the former governor of Ondo State, where he was allaying fear of one-party state. This is over 2 years now. You can see the revelation of that video coming to pass, that Nigeria has almost 90% drifted into a one-party state. The only side that is standing is, of course, the COPDEM movement, who have been consistent since before the 2023 election and until this moment have been consistent against what they describe as a tyranny of Bola Ahmed Tinubu government. As a matter of fact, in respect to the lawmakers, I bear out my opinion that Nigerians cannot expect to queue behind the same faces at the National Assembly and expect a different result. On that note, calling on all youths, well-meaning Nigerians to encourage young people to aspire for political offices across the country in order to take over the National Assembly. Please, Mr. Jefferson, are you available to have your thought on the burning issue? Mr. Gibson from Nasara, you are welcome. In case you want to have your contribution, please feel free to unmute and have a say. It's a COPDEM People's Parliament where we dissect socio-political issues as they affect Nigerians.
Thank you so much, Due Process. A very warm good evening to the National Chairman, Mr. John Agbonifo, and Honorable Goyson Emmanuel. I want to say a very big thank you for the hard work you guys are doing in order to make sure Nigeria democracy come back to what democracy is all about. It's quite unfortunate that we have a president that does not even think towards Nigeria and its people today. It's quite unfortunate that we have somebody of such at the helm of affairs who thinks he can govern Nigeria with his power, with his might, and whatsoever connection he has. Nigeria as a country is bigger than one-party system of government. It's totally unacceptable. When you see this country, sorry to say, this country is a country that if I may have the opportunity, I will divide this country into 4 or 5 nations. But such country that we have leaders who don't care about their people. Now, do you think coming together to form an alliance or whatever they are forming to make sure that they still keep on suffering Nigeria all in the name of one party system? Is Nigeria ready for this? Is that what we need at this particular hour? I don't think one party system is what we need now. And they are finding it every ways to get to that level, which I'm calling on Nigerian youth to come out in mass to go against this government. This Tinubu-led tyrant government, Nigerian youth needs to start coming out and speak against the bad governmental system of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We don't want this, and this is not what we need in Nigeria today. Allow every party should come out. Let them do the needful. If you are not scared and you are not afraid of Nigerian youth, of Nigerian people, you should be able to allow the free flow of democracy to come to realization. But the way I'm seeing it now, Tinubu is afraid of Nigeria itself. He knows the capacity of the masses, but it's just that the masses are not coming out to go against these political leaders who think they can do and undo. And that is why I'm urging all Nigerians today to please come out. This is the high time to speak against the bad government we are having in Nigeria. This is the time to say no to one party system, because it's not going to work. And I believe it's not going to stand in Nigeria. As far as Nigeria youth is concerned, I believe in the Nigeria youth. They should come out and in mass to start protesting against this one party system of government Tinubu is trying to put in place. And I believe we can stop it with the aid of...
Thank you, Mr. Jobson. One party state is forbidden in democracy. If we slide into one party, it means there is no more democracy, because the beauty of democracy is the availability of opposition. The moment there is no opposition, then democracy is gone. You still want to have your say?
Yes.
Yeah, go on.
Against our lawmakers, I think is a very, very great. The only reasons our lawmakers are made.
Your voice is breaking.
The only reason is because Nigerian youth, we don't think, and we don't see what is happening. We keep quiet. I think now is high time Nigeria youth needs to come against there. Even the so-called ones we elected from Labour Party house, because
sorry, Mr. Jackson, you're losing you. Your thoughts are not accumulated because of the breaking. I understand you're trying to say that Nigerian youth should mobilize and take over the National Assembly, just like the earlier tweets that was made by myself, that Nigerian youth need to take over the National Assembly in order to sanitize the National Assembly that has already been taken over by the executive. Imagine a Senate president putting on the regalia of Tinubu. That shows his complete allegiance towards Tinubu and not even the National Assembly. On that note, if we have young persons aspiring for House of Representatives, Senate, then we'll be sure that the next crop of National Assembly lawmakers will be those that stand by what is of essence to democracy and not necessarily the executive. Checks and balance is very fundamental in a democracy. If there is no checks and balance, then that government is eroded and sliding into tyranny, because the excesses of the executive will be left unchecked. Mr. Rampan, I don't know, are you available to speak?
Yes.
All right, glad to have you on board.
What we need to do?
Shed more light.
Hello.
Can I tell you, still speaking?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, run up your thought in like a minute so that we can progress. Thank you. We can't hear you, please.
We sent.
Oh, Mr. Jobson, sorry.
Taking them, checkmate what they are doing.
Your voice has been breaking and we are not even hearing you. I don't know. We're having challenge with your audio today. So, Mr. Rampan Jr., please, can you come on board so that we could have this conversation around yesterday's press conference and how it went all. There have been reactions from Nigeria applauding the press conference and the ideas behind it. Of course, Nigeria acknowledged that silence is no more the option, and the voice of opposition coming out through the ADC is a welcome development. And COPDEM has been applauded for doing massive job in that regard. Please, can you shed more light on the activities that transpired in yesterday's press conference? And so far, so good, what COPDEM has been able to achieve.
Well, thank you very much, Due Process. Please confirm if I'm audible.
Yes, I can hear you and I can see you live and direct. Please go on.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the World Press Conference was held at the ADC, which is the African Democratic Congress's global headquarters here in Abuja. And it was a clarion call to save Nigeria's democracy. As we see, as we understand so far, there is a lot to do to bring back the country in its proper trajectory. When the leadership is missing it, the entire body suffers. So that was the bane, like the entire essence of the press conference. As you know, COPDEM is the Coalition for the Protection of Democracy. And we were also the Directorate of Mobilization, Civil Societies, and Progressive Engagement of our party, our great party, the African Democratic Congress, which is ADC. We have come to a point in history where we don't have the luxury of keeping quiet. Nigeria is fast becoming a one-party state. That is almost sounding rhetorical, because all of us know that is what is on the ground. The mass defection of political party who are supposed to be the opposition, political parties, stalwarts, governors, their senators, their cabinets. In the case of Delta, it's like the entire state structure of an opposition party like the People's Democratic Party moving directly into the APC. It's really disturbing. And we have the arm twisting of River State. And it is now under martial law of some sort. If you look around, we have some states already mentioned, earmarked, so to say, within the South-South. They intend to move. Some have even said boldly, movement to APC is guaranteed. It's good. They have their right of opinion. They can associate with anybody they want to associate with. But then, who brought them into that office? Are they doing so out of their own volition? Are they moving to the APC, to the ruling party, just because it is a corridor to have goodies for their constituency, for their state? Do they mean that before they thought about moving to ADC, they were not actually having or providing goodies for their own citizens who voted them into power? Because that is the only interpretation you can get from there. Now, if they were not, why not? Are they not receiving the subvention? Do they not have the security votes? What stopped them from performing as duly elected representatives of the people of their states the people of their constituencies. What stopped them? So going to APC, as far as I'm concerned, I think it is just going by the counsel of Adams Ashimole. When you come to APC, all your sins are forgiven. Apparently, that is the major reason for such defections. And could it be that they were offered the Fubara alternative, or to just come in, so they must have succumbed to that kind of pressure, or possibly just personal greed? The party, our politicians, and especially the parties that most of these defections are coming from, which is all over, they lack a party ideology. It's like they just banded together to be part of this political party as a special purpose vehicle to have access to power and then to loot. And when there's a better vehicle that gives you access or prolongs your stay within the current position you're holding to keep on enjoying and the dividends of democracy for yourself and your immediate friends, they jump ship and they move to the other one. There is lack of patriotism. There's the absence of accountability. There is that disparity between the political elite and their constituencies. If I voted you into power, I expect that if you have a decision like that, you can contact me. You tell me why you're moving. And if I buy it in, and if the masses have voted me into power, they are the ones I should look forward to working with, to alleviating their sufferings, to make sure that the dividends of democracy are enjoyed within my own constituency. They are the ones that have the power to vote me back within my state. So, and it's not easy to defraud a governor of his electoral rights once his entire people are enjoying his services. It is just not possibly doable, although miracles happen, but it is not an easy road because the result is within the state. So they're moving to APC. I think it's just for greener pastures and to stay away from EFCC, according to Adams. Yes.
Okay. Talking about defection further, how can you describe the impact, the role of the key opposition leaders in showing synergy to embattled governors, like in the case of Governor of Rivers State, similar Fubara, who they has encountered for some months now. He has been facing challenges with his quote-unquote godfather in the state, which is has been alleged to be the Rivers State governor having interference, so to say, in the affairs of Rivers State, which has led to a prolonged political crisis in the state, to the extent that people believe it has led to influencing the pronouncement of state of emergency in Rivers State. And now there have been a rumor of Fubara holding a secret meeting with Tinubu in London. What can you make of all these insinuations, and how can you describe the role of the opposition leaders, like in terms of PDP, Atiku Abubakar? What role has it played? And other major opposition leaders, have they shown support to embattled governors in this political dispensation?
Well, okay, they may have shown some secret support that I'm not aware of, but so far, apart from the rhetorical, okay, we have condemned it, there is no concrete action. But they are actually not having any muzzle to do much more than that. Well, one would have thought, okay, would have had a combined or a coalition press conference to condemn that military takeover, moving Rivers State from a democratic government to martial law. But really, they have little to actually do, to be fair to most of the opposition. However, in terms of giving vivid opposition, even at that, you see, they throw very light punches in terms of playing the real role of opposition, because the punch is supposed to draw the attention of the incumbent to see that, okay, these things need to be corrected and these things, okay, fine, you could do a bit more, or this is absolutely wrong. Whatever the case may be, the opposition should be in a position to stand for the people in gaps where the incumbent is not. Now, looking at the same Fubara situation and the entire polity generally, we are having that problem because of godfatherism. If Wike is Fubara's godfather, uh, if Wike wasn't Fubara's godfather, we wouldn't have had that problem at all. Not at all. He wouldn't have had that much of a leash around him. And one of the things that we in the Directorate are trying to do, the Directorate of Mobilization for the ADC, is to make sure we open the doors for people to come in without godfatherism. Politics is like the most lucrative business, followed by banditry and kidnappings in Nigeria today. Very few legal concerns earn as much money as this very ones I've mentioned, politics and terrorism. So people rush to politics because it's legal. You get legal, quiet money. How much is the security votes for states? And that one, there's probably no accountability for it. What is the meaning of the constituency allowance? What has been done? Who holds those in account? So there is a big vacuum in terms of accountability. So politics money is like free money for you if you are in the position. So it has made it very expensive because it is there, it's available, no accountability. Everybody wants to get there and take a bite or take a chunk for himself. There's nobody that has moved into political power that has remained less than 100 times richer than he was before he got into power. Very few. So people rush to, it's a do or die thing. You go and borrow from God masters, you tobale, you bow down before any kind of thing, you go to shrines to sign agreements. It is because it's too expensive. So we in the ADC, not to usurp the powers of the board, within the coalition we are forming, the idea is to make declaration of interest forms as affordable as possible. In all our villages, within almost all the traditional schools, their concern is more of the safety. The kingmakers look at the prosperity and the safety of the constituency, of their village, of their community, of their ethnic group within the area above any financial consideration, knowing that the person they place in power as the king or the Igwe or the Bongwam or the Sultan or whatever, that person must have the interest of the people at heart above any other consideration. In politics, it is not like that. It is according to how much your pocket can give you, right from the declaration of interest. 100 million naira for president. If I don't have that and I borrow, I'll be subservient to whoever has given me the money. So we have to discourage that culture. Therefore, in the ADC directory, we have spread that news out. We have over 84 persons declaring for House of Representatives, fresh politicians, not corrupt by old ideas, and not influenced by such gimmicks of godfatherism. In order to make it better, we want to make sure our party is able to bring down the cost of declaration of interest. And everybody is welcome. We also have over 240, last time I checked was 243, which is about 2 weeks ago, of people declaring interest for the House of Assembly. These are not recycled politicians. These are people from within Nigeria, intelligent youths and people who have withdrawn from anything politics, but seeing that ADC provides an alternative, the coalition has the possibility and capacity to bring in new people. They came in. And this was made possible because of our party's open-minded policy, amending their constitution on the 27th of March 2025 to accommodate every Nigerian who wants to come and represent the constituency he is from and wants to come and be part of that change. And They're coming in. So you can join ADC today, contest for any position you want, whether it is councillor or president. We don't have to say the mandatory 2 years or thereabout that every political party has. And you can occupy any position within the party, from ward level to the national level. So you see, ADC has opened up the fence where the rest of Nigerians have been caged out of the democratic policy, of the polity. If you're not in the heart of APC or Labour Party or PDP, you don't stand a chance now to join that party and say you're contesting for anything in 2027. You're wasting your time. So ADC is practically out of the box. The coalition is coming with more force. And I assure you, one of these days, we're going to see how the ground in the Nigerian political atmosphere will take shape, with new people coming in, new ideas moving in, and most of Nigerians, good patriotic Nigerians, hearing the voice of this call and joining the African Democratic Congress, because we are out to make a difference. We in the Directorate of Mobilization, we will not stop until we have we're targeting 53 million people coming back to vote on election day. 70 million stayed away during 2023, and we cannot allow that happen. We will do all it takes to make sure the environment is conducive for Nigerians to know that we still have hope, for Nigerians to know that we cannot outsource the fight for our democracy. We have to do it ourselves. Due process?
Yes, thank you for that very comprehensive light to the press conference and the activities of COPDEM and how COPDEM has ensured that money back policy is thrown away from ADC. The question now is, as COPDEM, the major caucus and the backer of ADC, how do you intend to manage the influx and maintain the status quo of ADC? How do you intend to manage the influx of the new drive, different characteristics should be coming into ADC? How do you intend to maintain the influx?
Okay, well, politics is a game of numbers. So restricting entry is not an option for us. Mind you, I am the Director General of Mobilization. My job is to mobilize, and that is the Directorate of Mobilization, Civil Societies and Progressive Engagement. So our job is to bring awareness and draw people to come and stand for Nigeria within the platform of the ADC. Yes, we expect a great influx, but the party is national, and we don't have we have enough room across the country to accommodate everybody that comes in. In a typical gathering of people, you should anticipate that you have people of different character, different mindsets, different intentions, and then different backgrounds with different visions. They're all welcome into the ADC. Or when they come, everybody will find his place. You see, it is when the shepherd is of low quality that the sheep will suffer in quality. If the shepherd doesn't know his job, the sheep would lack water and they will not have good pasture. So we are making the coalition to be as strong as possible to take into cognizance the disparity of the Nigerian population. If we are not able to do that, how can we say that the current government is misfiring or goofing? So that's one of the things we are really taking very seriously within the African Democratic Congress. And we are not going to play with anybody. We want to have zero tolerance for corruption and we want to enshrine it. Now, there are some changes that we'll need to effect, but that will be when the coalition is solidified. But that is an in-house thing. Generally speaking, if all Nigerians decide to join the ADC, there's room for them. The whole country is for Nigerians. And so they're welcome. All we need to do is begin to think about what role everybody has to play. You just fit in where you're most comfortable, as long as the mindset is one and the leadership is purpose-driven for a better Nigeria, to stop this vehicle called Nigeria from total descent and collapse.
Yes, thank you,
Due process.
Mr. Junior, the national chairman of COPDEM and the Director General of the ADC, Directorate of Mobilization and Civil Society Progressive Engagements. Glad to have you on COPDEM People's Parliament, and we look forward to having you subsequently when invited for our program.
Anytime, due process. You know I'd always be around. And you're doing a swell game, man's job. Thank you.
Thank you. Viewers out there, it's been a wonderful time engaging with the national chairman of COPDEM and the Directorate of Mobilization, Civil Society and Progressive Engagements, Mr. Rampam Jr. And here with me on Zoom, we'll be having engagement around the topic of the day, and we have done justice to a number of topics that we have raised for the day. Please do well to join us tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m., as we'll dip more into yet another episode of COPDEM People's Parliament. In case you are in the Zoom and you want to have another contribution to what has been said, please, you have a minute or two to do so. Mr. Agbonifo, you want to have contribution?
No, Mr. Due Process, I'm fine.
It's all right. Thank you all for joining us today. And for those that join us lately, we thank you for being part of the program. Tomorrow is another day, and we'll be having yet another inclusive discussion on COPDEM People's Parliament. We will come your way tomorrow. Thank you for joining us, and God bless you.
Good night, everyone.
Yes, good night.
Good night.
Yeah, good night. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.